What's up, everybody? Welcome. My name is Harold. My business is Infinite You. And what's going on? Woo! Okay, I want to tone it down a little bit. Um, so, first of all, the title of this is Activating the New Human Light Grid. What does that mean? What does that mean for me? What does that mean for you? How can that be translated? Um, All right, so I guess I'll just start off right now with saying, activating the new human light grid is like you have all these sacred spaces across the planet, ancient Egypt, Machu Picchu, Chichen Itza, Serpent Mound, Sedona, Mount Shasta, all these nodal points on the planet. So activating the new human light grid means that you are now going to be activated so that way you can be the new sacred space. Living, biological, moving, sacred space that brings harmony wherever you go, that raises the vibration and harmonizes that vibration wherever you go. Because a human being in balance creates a field around them that can actually affect the physical reality through the internal change and balance of the human being and integration, right? All right, so just start off, that's kind of weird, right? Some of you guys that are new to this, um, are going to have a hard time grasping the direction that my videos go. And, but I think most of y'all, if y'all stick around and listen all the way to the end and really get the gist of what's going on here, you'll absolutely resonate on the highest level. Because this is what I've learned through my own walk, through my own experiences, through my knowledge, through my meditations, through my psychedelic journeys, my spiritual journeys, through just analyzing the reality around me and using that as a tell to let me know what kind of adjustments I can do within. And what kind of communication is also coming from within through sources kind of feeding back into me. So I pay attention to absolutely everything. I'm hyper aware of my surroundings and how it all moves, and the patterns, the synchronicities. So when the new human light grid starts to activate, these signs and signals become stronger and stronger and much more often, where it's almost like you're living in a fantasy land because you are aware of these signals and information feeding back to you. Now it can be through a conversation happening 5 feet away from you that you're not even involved with, but you could have a thought in your head and someone over there answer your question. Right? That's signs from spirit. That's absolute guidance. So coming from yourself because you asked the question internally. I say this because this has happened to me many times, and I get feedback through the music that I listen to, communicating with me in the same way, through the people that come into my life. So, Infinite You, at this point, it's me, myself, and I that run the business and maintain and do the marketing, the promoting, and everything with the help of my girlfriend, Amber. And, I'm a household with children, and I have 2 children of my own and 3 stepsons. And, a community that I'm involved with. And I did used to work for companies. I was a server. I also managed an alkaline water store. Um, and I've left all that stuff to go out and do like my thing. And sorry, it didn't look like it was. Oh no, the way. Let go of my water bottle. Okay, this looks odd, and it is off. All right, so let me fix this, guys. So this is kind of like what I'm about. It's drinking good water, eating as clean as possible. That's a challenge for me right now. That's something that I'm absolutely working on. Adjusting my diet and the supplements and things like that. So anyway, Infinite You is the name of my business, and I am a practical spiritual advisor and community activist. And you can flip those around on depending on what hat I want to wear for the day. And so, what that means is I'm looking at the practical uses as what Spirit's guiding back to me, and practical ways of explaining them, so that way anyone can kind of understand and resonate on some level. A lot of people are on the ground floor of their spiritual awakening or haven't even, cracked open the door yet. And so I'm here for you guys. And if we want to get into more advanced stuff, I'm also here for you guys. I really like working in that regard because once you start to discover your own abilities to manifest and create in the reality that we're all playing in mass consciousness, then we can start creating big moves. And so I've been able to create big moves just by myself, right? Going out doing this stuff by myself. So as of right now, I don't work for anyone else. I work for myself. I make these amazing orgonite pendants. Some of these pyramids back here, I make those, amongst other things. Pockets of light used for gardens and homes and gridding and spatial harmonizing. The community work, I am on a mission to add curriculum slash, just sustainable talks. Well, curriculum in regards of sustainability, how to get us out of the mess that we're in. We should have classes on that. If we know there's problems and issues, societal and the way things are run, then we should be looking at new ways of doing them. And if we foster that from as early on as, daycares, where they're starting like little gardens and these children are learning like, hey, I was planting trees and, fruits and veggies and flowers and stuff since a little wee one. And then you go into the entire school system learning about gardening and sustainable practices and regenerative practices, how to get back into the system and actually have more than what we're taking, being able to get back more than what we're taking. So, so it's a little bit more about what Infinite You is. It's, being able to take practical approaches to spirituality and science and how it all plays together from multiple dimensions, multiple regions of consciousness that I can tap into to see the big picture and then drop it down and, kind of get down to action steps and doing physical things. And through these small action steps that I've taken with big consciousness ideas and directions and what I see with a clean third eye to project out into the reality and within myself and foster a change that happens here first, and it's been able to do many things as it resonates out. And those are other videos, but trust me, trust me, we're gaining way, like tons of momentum, like it's happening right now. So we're knee deep or waist deep or freaking chest deep in the shift, in the consciousness evolution that's happening within you, within myself, within each other, within mass consciousness, right? There's a huge shift going on, and a lot of people are getting pelted, bombarded with energies, and they're not understanding how to deal with them, and sometimes they're not coming from themselves, they're coming from external, what would seem external. Well, now I'm talking from a different octave. When you operate from this octave, nothing is separate, but as we go further down, things look to separate, to show reflections, to be more of a more obvious, and then you make that transition with your consciousness to bring things together, and then just witness the change that happens from that. So, all right. So we're doing practical spiritual advising one-on-one sessions. That's something that I can do over the phone. Look, I'm just breaking into this stuff. Like, this takes up a lot of time. But I do want to get to stuff where I'm not, get to services that I can offer in different ways to bring in abundance into my life and teach and show what's worked for me and what spirit guides me to let you guys know. And When we get into these spaces where my vibration raises, it elevates, where it harmonizes, I get into a space where I call no time, where so much information can come out as long as you're ready and willing to absorb it. So always come with an open heart and open mind when we go into any session. And group sessions are a favorite for me. I like to get a bunch of people in a room and kind of like inspire you guys and show and tell my story. And you know, it always starts from the heart. And everything I do is for future generations. Like I said, I have children, and I plan on creating a space for them to be in a peaceful environment. And the only way I figured I could do that is by changing the world. Like, so, sorry, it's a big shoe to fill, but I figured it out. The only way I'm going to be able to protect them is by putting everyone in a space where they don't have to go out and take and steal and do all these nasty things to each other. And so we're transmuting a lot of those negative energies and things that have happened in the past that no longer need to reside in the higher consciousness of where we are going, what we have already created, and what we're literally just watching the, you know, the minutiae of how it's all playing out. So rock with me here, roll with me here. Let's keep it flowing. I want you to find your flow, your passion, your purpose, your story, and create a life with that, because that's the way things are actually done. So we can get past a lot of this duality stuff. Anyway, off on a tangent, let's get back on track. So the other part is the community activist stuff, as well as spiritual activism, spiritual community service, where we go out and grid places. And my children do keep me, and my family, they do keep me grounded. I am anchored into this quadrant, this area. This is my spot for right now until things change and shift, which I don't have any idea on where and when and how that will happen. But I will always be guided and comforted as I walk through this density. And we transmute it. We raise the vibration, we break free of the chains, and we come connected to all of ourselves. And so just like this dude back behind me here, you know, with all these multi-dimensional arms and stuff, being able to do all these things at one time, don't short yourself. You can play an active participant and role in absolutely as much as you want to. So along with the community activist stuff, if you're in your area, so basically we're going to do like 101, integrating this new human suit and how do you operate with it, and you feed it what it needs or what it's requiring at any given moment, which is communication with self and an awareness of self, an awareness of higher consciousness and beings that are attached to your stream that are also going through stuff. And as all of us raises the bar, we're all going through stuff and shifts, so recognize that. Just like a string on a guitar or harp, let's call it a harp, you bring it up here, it's going to go all the way down, and us little guys down here are going to feel the brunt of this until you can ground and create a field around you that kind of balances the field. Then you can be the one that has your higher self grab the string in the stream of consciousness and kind of calm it down with all of your guys in the center, to not let it, you know, just like wave around and like jar you. So the more you can integrate and bring your other higher selves that are part of your stream back to center, now that line has a buffer at each zone. Does that make sense? We're talking about a multidimensional aspect of yourself that has streams of consciousness that go up dimensions, right? All right, so integrating all of that creates an immense amount of balance and connection for you in this field of existence, where you can pull in a bunch of energy through meditation, through grounding, through sun gazing, through your diet, what you feed your vessel, breathing. Recognizing when it's time to sit in that stillness when you take that deep breath in, so you can ask your guides and your the beings that are on your quadrant, on your field, that are here to assist you, You can kind of adjust things and sit in that right there and just kind of hold your breath and ask for a processing. Ask for whoever's the best at getting you through this stage and your existence to the next level, because it's all about leveling up. There are doors, there are keys, there are synchronicities, there are all types of events that happen, that have happened in your past, in your memory, that you can look back on and you can kind of piece things together and understand where you are now. And then you can let go of those things and have an awareness of it, but not let negative things attach to you. Don't let other little thoughts from the past that tweaked you in a certain way that kind of brought out negative emotions. 12:12. All right. Sorry. And it's 4:4. I didn't even. Okay. So the synchronicities, you pay attention. So I have a speaker right here that's blocking my time on my TV to watch myself. I look over because Spirit asks me to look at the time, and I look at the time, and it's 12:12. And I didn't even realize that today's 4:4. So I'm looking right here at 12:12, 4:4. All right. So this is paying attention to those signs. Drink water. Integrate it. Do things with purpose. Do things with purpose. I mean, if I can express anything that is of importance and something to stay mindful as you go about your day, minute by minute, is to do things with purpose. Like, have an intent and you breathe with it and you move with it. So how to create in this reality is you have an intention, you breathe it in, you sit in the stillness, you allow your higher selves, right? This is your thought process. This is your belief system. So my belief system has created all kinds of things for me in my life and my immediate reality where we're shifting things. And again, like I said, those would be other videos. I'm really going to, now that this is my job, is to be out there and more outspoken, and I don't have to report to another business or entity and build their dreams for 40 hours a week, where I can focus on what I need to do. And as I ebb and flow, as infinite you ebbs and flows, right? And I'm creating these things for a few months, and I'm bending and I'm stacking dough and I'm doing my thing. And then as spring comes around, which I see this is the direction and the balance for me with being what's on my business card: practical spiritual advisor and community activist. So because I claim that and I put that on my card, the universe is providing that for me. So I can see right now that spring's coming in and I'm being called on to do more of the community work. So I will be installing a Nubian or Russian angled 72-degree pyramid on part of the garden at my daughter's school, and working with bringing crystals and organite and working with some of the children during school hours over here. Paradigm shift, right? We're doing things. I have another meeting with the mayor to at a meet and greet where I'll have another opportunity to speak with him and let him know where my heart is at. So this last time I went just a few days ago, I put my heart out. I showed him where my heart was. I felt where his heart was. And so we're both looking for the future. He may not know what I know and experience and seen what I've experienced and seen, but he's about to know that. So he shook my hand and agreed to let's work together, because I do work with other groups and organizations that are organized in that regard to do those things, right? And so I can be a hub and a liaison between these organizations and people and entities, and we can really have a strong momentum where this all comes together. And I kind of see my part evolving into the, where it evolves into the future, in the near future. I believe this stuff is like right around the corner where I can create a forum that I can have my earth guardians, which would be my politicians, business owners, gardeners, the people that are here like in the 3D, they're doing the 3D stuff, but with passion and purpose. And then with my spiritual warriors, healers that have their own talents and abilities that have tapped into spirit, I feel they should have more grounding experiences so we can have a forum where both are almost rewarded for doing each other's workshops, whether it's a gardening workshop for my spiritual warriors and healers to ground and earth completely and understand what that means, because I'm going to stand up there and like explain what we're about to do and why we're doing it. And then I have my earth guardians and my business people and politicians understanding that there is a metaphysical and a spiritual aspect to this reality, and how do we play with these two places, realms where we're existing, right? So these guys are like rooted in here, and these guys are rooted in here, and if we bring them together, then we create a bridge. That's what I am. I hold light codes. I'm a bridge between the physical, the 3D, and the 5D and above. State of consciousness and state of density moving forward, and I don't know exactly when that'll happen, but we're evolving. We're evolving, and we're at a point where we're ready to get rid of the old BS and just literally forget about it and be like, what? We went through that? Oh, yeah, that's right. We went through a thing, and that's what we'll call it. And then, our shift. And then the fun part is going to be playing with all that new energy and those new abilities that we have of healing ourselves and regrowing limbs and being able to bilocate and speak telepathically to each other and with animals. And you want to fly? Like, we can fly. Like, this is no joke. We're evolving as human beings. Like, don't quote me on the flying stuff. Like, I believe we're going to do it, but time will only tell. It may not be my generation. I might just, like, plasma and be on out of here, and you won't even see me physically fly. I'll just, right? Whatever. And then my children would be, like, flying around like Peter Pan. And so, anyway, we're going through an evolution here. And it's nothing short of a miracle. It's nothing short of, it's nothing short of being new to existence. Like, if you can encompass what's like a multi-dimensional self and know that stuff has existed for eons and all kinds of crazy stuff has happened, and understand that, and then understand that we're going through something that's never even happened before, that it's been created anew, that we are new, we are something else. Like, breathe that in for just a minute. And this is where I implore you to do that hold count on your breath is. And just process that, man. Like, just process that. Just absorb it and let it just sink in for a minute. That we're doing some new. Like, you're part of something special. All right. So, be involved in your community. So, like I said, I am involved with the Food Policy Council of San Antonio. There's probably a Food Policy Council in your area, if you're in a major city, especially in a major city. And so what you can do is just go to their, if I'm not mistaken, all nonprofits need to have some kind of an open meeting or something like that where people can attend and find out, hey, what are y'all doing for the public if you're a nonprofit? And so these places have a place where you can show up and listen to what's going on and what's being said and what issues are out there and how can these things be adjusted and whatnot, and how can you be a part of it, right? You can knock on doors, you can ask questions, you can do whatever, you can participate. There are local community gardens more than likely in your area, and you can participate there and do these earthing grounding things. You can start a meditation group in your local park, in your community, in your neighborhood, in your city. These are things that you can be an active participant in the community and the reality around you. by doing these things. You're going to breathe, you're going to take steps, you're going to move into these directions, you're going to have intention and focus and purpose when you do these things. And it's going to come from your heart. So these are ascension codes that I'm giving you, laid out in layman's terms. Like, it's 2019. By 2020, you better see clearly. Right? This is no joke. Like, the mundane, the docile world that we've been living in that has no excitement to it, or has old excitement. Like here in San Antonio, we're about to get into fiesta season, which is like it's a week and a half, 2 weeks of like different parties and stuff. But it's like beer drinking, taco eating. Let's go ride a Ferris wheel and some carnival things and carnival games, and it's like a big tourist. It's a money spending thing, and there's different events that happen to bring people together. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good vibes involved in this, but it's still like to me, it's like like that's how many years are you going to do fiesta the same way? Like you go to Nyosa, you go to Oyster Bake, and you go to these different things, and it's like the same people but older with younger kids doing different shit, and you're gonna talk, whatever. Create something new. Find something new to do. Go out to a transformational festival. Like that's the new for me. Like these are festivals that talk about community and actually exhibit it. Everybody brings food to the table and we all eat, like literally. And we all clean dishes and we all clean up after each other and we all watch each other's children and we play in the woods and we camp out with each other, and everybody's got, everything taken care of. Whatever you need, you ask, and someone knows someone that has it if they don't have it themselves, and you can borrow it, use it, keep it, whatever. Right? This is that new. You're connected to nature. You're walking around barefoot. You're dancing together. You're meditating together. You're breathing together. You're meeting new people. You're looking at each other in the eyes. Right? Your phone is turned off. You're seeing new art. There's a lot of vendors at these places, and that's where I come in. I like to vend at these places and connect, and it's rejuvenating for me to be out there. To tell my story. This is my purpose. It's making these things is beautiful, and it's a work of art, but it's an opportunity to have people come in front of me so I can tell my story, and the energy that goes into these pieces is me. It's that inspiration to get out there and do something about it. I'm one human being, and the stuff that I've been able to create, I'm astounded by, and I'm absolutely proud of myself for what I've been able to do and the people that I've been able to help and inspire to do things as well. I mean, watching the ripple effect is like, it's a godsend. It's from yourself. You sent it to yourself. You are a God in flesh. You come from the Most High. You had no choice of it. Everything came from there. What are you, retarded? Like everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything has served a purpose for you now. Look at some of the bad times in your life, in your past, and see how they've served a purpose now, and where they've helped you elevate your, whether it's decision making, your reaction, you've learned things from them. And if you haven't, and you're using them for negative things like grief or grudges, then please, this is the time to examine those things and let them go. It doesn't serve any purpose in a higher state of existence. It doesn't need to. You've learned your lesson. It's time to move on. I have to, some may call it a jab or whatever, but I mean, I got to throw this out there. But for the people that only resort to, putting everything on a book and a Bible and saying that everything came from there, like, how many times are you going to do Bible study? Like, where are you, still in school? Like, you're fucking 80. Let's study the Bible. You're literally not teaching anybody anything. You're saying, let's still study together. Like, what the, like, how long do you need to study? When did you go to, doctors go to college, but eventually they take a test and they're done. Right? And I understand, like, you always want to consciously keep evolving, but you're looking at the same book. You read it 10 times. And I do also understand every time you go back to a book, you can learn new things. But what's the basis? What's the end of it? This book has a purpose. And its purpose is not for you to keep reading it all the time. Its purpose is to create a new human to go out there and be the book without the judgment and the, some of the negative aspects of it, because that book's been written by man, mind you. Like, come on, man. Like, literally, this is layman's terms. I got to tell you how to adjust your frequency. Let go of a book. Become the book. Become the best parts of the book. Let me give you an example real quick of how I can rewrite a history or my story, right? So I vend now. I go out and sell spiritual tools for people. And one of my crystal wands was stolen one day at a place where you think like, man, stealing at this place is nothing but like high-vibing people. But so you got to take that into account, right? So that's what I do. Man, I don't think a person that's like really that negative would be allowed in my space, because I don't vibrate like that. That stuff's been integrated already. So only those in the highest order of balance may stand in my presence. So if this being that took this wand, or borrowed, or is using it, may have heard me explaining how to use the wand. That if you want to send energy, you go forward. If you want to pull energy back to you, bring it to you in counterclockwise. Clockwise to go forward, counterclockwise to bring it to you. So heard me explaining and how to use it, and the energy work and the stuff that I've done for San Antonio and gridding this place. And by spinning energy in a certain way to create that compression from above and below, and how we can bring it together and create a compression and create a piezoelectric charge is what we're doing. Like, that just came to me right now. See, this is how spirit lets me know, validates what I do, right? Okay, I just follow, I just go, and then sometimes I don't get the validation till later, till months later. I'm like, oh, wow, nice, cool, all right, But anyway, so this person heard me tell the story, and, my twist on it, and my viewpoint is they understood where my heart is, because I put it out on my table every time I go out and vend. I tell my story. I put my heart out there. People know where I'm coming from. They know the being that I am, because everything I tell is like from the heart. It's my stories, right? So I tell my story. I put my heart out there. They hear this. They understand that I come from a place of balance, and know that nobody's really going to harm me. All they're doing is showing me lessons and reflections, right? So they take this wand because they know somebody that's ill, needs some kind of spiritual healing. They figured out that they're a master and this resonates with them, and they just don't happen to have the money, but they know that I will understand that. Who's going to steal a wand and use it to I'm going to bring money to me, money, money, money. They know it's not going to work that way. So they're using this thing for light. They're using this thing to heal and transmute and balance. And I understand that. And I'm grateful for them taking that and using that, and listening to me explain my story on how to use it and where the intention. And I everything that comes through my life, whether it's crystals that I purchase online or whatnot, they all, once they come into my field, they are re-encoded, they are cleansed and recoded with my essence, with who I am, because I hold light codes. I was born 11/22/1977 at 11 p.m. on the dot. Don't tell me I don't hold light codes. I know who and what I am, right? Discover who and what you are. Discover your own personal light codes. Those are your codes. Those are no one else's. That's your frequency. That's the numbers you came in with. And please don't ask me what your numbers mean to you. It's your numbers. What do they mean to you? Who are you and what are you? We all came from many different places. We're not all from the Pleiades or the Sirius or from inner Earth or Earth, or whatever metaphysical terms we want to put in it. We are all one. But we have resonance with, we can jump in and out of consciousness and have different things kind of come in whenever we sometimes need them, and sometimes they come in when you weren't asking. And that's up to you to find that balance and that courage to be the light and be the anchor. What else? Go out and get involved in your community, gardens, breathe, move, eat right, What else is Infinite You about? Sustainable practices. So I do also have access to HHO generators, which you can install on most vehicles. Because I probably wouldn't put one on my hybrid. I have a hybrid already, a Kia Optima hybrid. Gets good gas mileage. I don't think it would work, or I would have to really tinker with it in order, because the engine shuts off and on, and I only want this HHO generator to operate when the engine is on, when the engine comes on, not when the car is on. And then plus you need a little bit of room to put it. So some of the older vehicles that are out there, um, they, shoot, yeah, it's on the showing it. Anyway, some of the older vehicles that are out there, they install in there, they're going to save you at least 30% gas, emissions, 98% cut, run cooler, cleaner, longer lasting engines. So that's what I do. That's Infinite You. I wish you all the best of luck on your journey. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to comment down below. Hit that like button, that subscribe button. If you know anybody that needs this information or requires it at this time, please send this out to them. I come from the heart. It's the only way I operate. But I am a practical spiritual advisor, so that means I'm going through my own stuff too. I'm evolving as well, and I'm not perfect. And I understand that and take that, but I'll be the first one to call myself out when I make any mistake. I love you guys. Namaste and Lak'ech. Peace.